Hello everyone and welcome. So this is going to be a short tutorial on herd management and this simple little trick that I learned that you can do when you're looking at a herd that has multiple low fitness animals in the herd. So under normal circumstances, when you're doing herd management, you're going to go find your herd, of course, like I'm looking here at this herd of deer, and we're going to call them in to try to get the low fitness animals to show up. So we're going to get them as close to us as we can. We're pulling them away from the herd, and then you're going to use your rifle or your bow, whichever one you're hunting with. In this example here, I'm going to show you with the rifle. Now, if you've done any kind of herd management, this is specifically what would happen. So you take your shot, you hit the animal, didn't hit a dead-on shot for the heart, so the animal's going to trot, he's going to run back to the herd. He's got his head tilted, so he's going to go down. But if you notice in the background, the herd has bolted. They heard the shot, they were so close to the shot, it spooked them. They're all running off in one direction, up to typically about 300 meters away, and now you're going to have to track them and the animal. So I will go ahead and spare you all of that tracking and show you here another herd that I've come across and how it happens with a bow. Now you would think a bow would be super silent and it could work out easier. You could take out an animal and the rest wouldn't spook, but that's not the case. It's all based on how close you are in proximity to the herd itself. The animal is attached to a herd, and whenever you shoot the animal, whether it's a quiet bow or whether it's with a rifle, you're actually going to be spooking the rest of the herd because of the activity that occurs. So now you're going to see me take out the bow. I've called this animal in. I'm going to go ahead and set up an arrow, and then I'm going to shoot the animal, presumably through both lungs. Alright, so I've hit him hard. He didn't go down right away, and if you notice, immediately the entire herd has spooked and they are taking off in one of these directions, which means I'm actually going to have to go find them. In the worst case scenarios, I'm also going to have to go look for the animal that I just shot and either put him down or hopefully find his carcass. Now, in looking for his carcass, he's going to be near the animals, which I'm going to show you briefly in just a moment. And when I find him near the other rest of the herd, they're also going to spook again, depending on how quickly I get to him. So let's take a look here. I've gone ahead and sped up the video to spare you guys all the details of the time it took me to track down this animal. You will also notice I actually like to use the blue markers for blood. It's super bright, it doesn't look like it belongs, and so it's super easy to follow. Then again, I also play on the lower settings, Explorer, and not something high-end like Hunter. Alright, so as I mentioned a moment ago, I have now come up to the area where the animal is, and I have now spooked the herd again. So even if I was trying to sneak up here, I may have not known that the herd was still here. Let's say I was looking for a second animal in the herd, and typically at that point I would have tried to shoot the other animal because, again, there are multiple animals in herds that will be low fitness. Unfortunately, this method of trying to take out those animals is not the best in my opinion, and you're going to be steadily chasing this herd all over the place, using up your valuable time. And here, as we finally come up on the animal, we take a look and see where I hit him. Oh, that was a gut shot. That was a poor shot, but there you go. 27.54% vindicated as to why we took him out as a low fitness. Okay, so we are here on Nez Perce, and this is going to be a herd of mule deer that I'm going to use as my example. So if we look here, this is where I'm located, and I'm going to go right down to the bottom of the valley where this river is, and I'm going to look at this herd. There are 3 low fitness animals in this herd that I'm going to be taking out, but I'm going to do it in a manner that does not actually affect the herd. They're not going to run off, they're not going to spook, and I'm going to be able to take out all 3 animals without even concerning myself with them running away. Alright, so let's take a quick look at my inventory. So I am rocking the Steyr SSG M1, which I'll show you why I'll need that in just a few minutes. Then I also have the Bear X bow. Now this is the same bow I was using earlier, on the normal way to do herd management, but this is going to be a special way to do herd management using this bow, and we're not going to actually spook the herd while using it during this method. The last three items you'll need in your inventory is the collar for the animal you're calling, a pair of binoculars, and definitely a stand that you can set up to do this little trick. So the animals were designed to be a part of the herd that they're in, but when they get to a certain distance away from their herd, which I believe is about 170 to 200 meters, they actually disassociate with the herd that they were attached to, and that's what we're going to take advantage of today. So once I get up on this herd, I'm going to go ahead and set myself up about 200 yards away from the herd. You probably want to get between 200 and 220 yards away from the herd, and go ahead and set up your stand, and just be careful that your wind is in the right direction and that you're not going to spook the herd when doing this. Okay, so I'm all set up now. I've got my herd in front of me. They're about 197 to 200 yards away, and I'm going to go ahead and get ready to start calling in and seeing what I can take out for low fitness in this herd. Alright, so after calling the animals in several times and just being patient, I've gone ahead and pulled in, looks like 3 mule deer, and so I'm going to keep them coming continuously by calling them in. So I don't need that weapon. I'm going to go ahead and get my bow out. I've also marked the 42-yard area. If you look here, you can see 1, 2, and 3. These are all 3 low fitness animals that I've called in. And then again, I've already marked about the area that I want to get ready to shoot them with my bow. I have it at 42 yards. I usually do it at about 50, but this is a super open area, so I want to let one get up here to about the 42-yard mark before I take it, and then I'll take the rest afterwards. Okay, so I've gone ahead and gotten these 3 animals to come actually pretty close. I've got it marked out to about 45 yards, but I'm going to go ahead and take him at about the 50. Like I said, that's my sweet spot. So I pull out my bow, I get ready for him to kind of line up for me, and I need to take a super accurate shot, so it's best to wait till he stops moving, and right there he drops. That was absolutely perfect. Now if you notice, not like the other video you saw earlier on normal herd management, these 2 animals are still en route to this location. That is because I just took that one there about 170 to 200 meters away from the herd, and I did it silently. So even if these guys are about 5 or 10 feet from each other, they're actually not going to spook as long as I instantly kill the animal, and that's another reason why you want to use the bow and you want to be accurate. So with this process, just like any herd management process, you're still going to have a little bit of patience. So I'm going to keep calling these animals in continuously so that they don't get bored not hearing the calls and turn back and go back to the herd. That's something that we don't want. Now, even though I have already taken the animal to the left and these animals can clearly see it, I guess it's not written in their programming to understand that there's an animal there and spook. And again, remember, I took it away from the other herd, so the herd basically disassociated itself from the herd and is no longer part of that herd. The same thing is about to happen with these 2 animals, is that they are almost to the distance of about 50 meters or 50 yards, from me, and again we're about 200 and 220 yards away from the herd. So I'm going to let this guy on the right come up a little closer, and then he's going to stop, and I'm going to take that accurate shot into his chest through his lungs and hopefully a heart shot. But either way, the amount of damage I'm using with the mechanical arrowheads, I'm going to tear all the way through his chest and he's going to drop instantly. If you notice the other guys to the left right there, he's not even going to notice because again, these guys have now disassociated themselves from the herd. There you go, dropped him instantly. See this guy here, it's not that he was looking back behind the herd, it's just that they are no longer connected to that herd, so it really doesn't have anything to do with the herd anymore, so I'm not spooking the herd. He's sitting still, and I'm going to go ahead and take him. Boom, that's all 3 of them right there. So let's go ahead and take a look how the herd is doing. See, if you notice, the herd is still over there. They have no idea what just happened to these young mule deer. They don't know that they're no longer part of their group. They don't know that they were taken. So let's go ahead and take a look and see their fitness level. But again, this is where I'm at here in Nez Perce, and these are the low fitness animals that I just took out of this herd without spooking the herd in any way, shape, or form. So technically here's animal number 2. I'm going to go ahead and look at him first. He's the closest to me. And if you notice there, he is only 29.88%. Yeah, look at the fitness on this guy. So he definitely needed to be taken out. So it's a good thing I went ahead and took him. All right, let's sell him. Let's go take a look at the other guy. Now this was the 3rd one that I hit. Oh, perfect shot right through the heart. Look at that that cavity that I put into him. He's 44.75%, but again, low fitness, and that's anything below 50.00 is considered low fitness. Anything 50.01 or higher is considered high fitness. Now here's the first guy that I took out. Perfect shot right through the artery, right through the cavity. I love using these mechanical arrows. 25.62%, very low fitness. Definitely need to be taken out. These guys are affecting my herd genetics and causing me not to have the high fitness animals. Okay, so here's going to be another example. I've gone ahead and tracked another herd of mule deer, and I'm going to go set up to about the 200-yard mark away from them. I'm going to set right next to a tree so I'm not so visible, and we're going to go ahead and get ready to call them in. So on this group, I'm going to go ahead and accelerate the process so you guys can just see the good stuff. So I'm going to fast forward through the rest of the video. But I do want you to take a look at this one specific mule deer that I'm going to eyeball real quick. And it's this 1-star mature that I want you to look at. Now, a lot of times some people take out the 1-star matures. Sometimes people don't take out the 1-star matures. But I want to show you that this guy, he's a 1-star mature, and he never comes to the call. You would think a 1-star mature would actually be a low fitness animal. No, actually, come to find out, remember what I said a minute ago about that 50% or 50.00 and below is considered low fitness, and 50.01 and above is considered high fitness. But at 50.01 or higher, up to about 80%, they're going to have some really nasty looking horns on them. They're going to have some nasty looking hides. They are low genetics and you want to get them out of there, but they're not going to come to your calls. And in that case, that's where you're going to want to get close to the animal, and you're going to need to take a look at the actual horns on a close-up view. That's the way you're going to be able to see that they are low fitness or low genetic. So I was successful in pulling 2 mule deer away from their herd. You can see them here. I've gone ahead and marked about the 57-yard mark. Again, I like to go around 50, but I actually did about 57 on here just in case they spook. I don't want them to spook because they are staring at me. So I'm going to go ahead and take the first one, and then when he goes down, you'll notice that he just drops instantly. But guess what? The second one, he would have normally run under regular circumstances. I've pulled them away about 170 to 200 yards away from the herd. They have disassociated from the herd. If you look there, he just walks right over the top of his buddy like nothing happened. And it's going to be his turn now, so I'm going to wait till he comes up a little bit and stops. And here we go. And boom, there he goes. Like I said, this is the best example I can give on how to take out multiple animals from a large herd without spooking the herd and having to chase after them for 30, 45 minutes just to find them again and shoot them again and then them run off again. So instead of constantly chasing the animals all over Kingdom Come, you're actually able to go ahead and take out multiple animals at the same time. These guys were both under 50% as you saw there, and so that's why they came to the low fitness call. Now, I want to go ahead and take a look at that 1-star mature I was telling you about, and I'd no longer need the bow due to the fact that he's literally the last one, so I'm going to go ahead and shoot him with the rifle. So he was standing there. I went ahead and went around to the bushes to see where he was standing. Remember, he did not come to any of the low fitness calls, and I'm going to show you in just a moment as to why he did not do so. So he did not make it far. He only made it about 50 yards. There are some other mule deer over here. This is some of the other herd that I was looking at. So let me go ahead and claim the animal, and we'll take a look here and see what that fitness was as to why he did not come to a low fitness call. It might surprise you. Alright, so let's take a look here. Nice shot. I actually got him through the upper shoulder, straight in. He only made it about 50 yards, but let's take a look there. 50.71% genetics. Now, look at the tines. They're all kind of messed up. He's got 2 in the front there versus 2 in the back on the opposite side, but 50.71%. This is exactly why I was trying to explain that he is literally 0.70% higher than the 50.00 or 50.01 that qualifies him as high fitness versus low fitness. So this is why he did not come to the low fitness calls. So I wanted to make sure that we were very clear on where the low fitness versus high fitness exact marker is for everyone to understand that. So just know that if animals aren't coming to your low fitness calls, that does not mean you don't have low genetics or low fitness in your herd. So you're going to have to get up close and personal and take a look yourself. So this will be my last example for this tutorial. So I've gone ahead and found another herd here that has a couple of low fitness or low genetics in here that I'm going to go ahead and set up to take out. So I've set up my stand and I'm up now and I'm taking a look here. So the closest one to me is about 192 yards, and I'm going to go ahead and get ready to start calling these guys over to me. Again, my wind is in a good position. It's going off to the right. In this herd, I was able to go ahead and get 2 low fitness animals to come towards us. So I'm going to go ahead and spare you the details of being able to get them to come over to me, and I'm just going to speed up the video here a little bit, so bear with me. I don't actually have the best position on these guys. I put myself where there's a massive amount of bushes in between me and them, so I'm going to have to go ahead and finish my last call and grab this guy as quickly as possible. But now they are disassociated with the other herd, so I can go ahead and get him. I don't want to make the mistake of, there you go, there's the first one. I don't want to make the mistake of shooting into those bushes and something deflecting my arrow, which has happened when I've shot near trees and other bushes before. So I'm going to go ahead and set up and take the second guy. If you notice, as I've told you before, he is still coming and the herd has no idea what just happened to the first guy. I actually happened to lose this guy when I'm setting up to shoot him. He went right behind the bushes, and again, I'm not going to shoot him through those bushes. That would probably hit the bushes and bounce off, and then he would run off. So I'm going to wait till he's just in range and I can see him visually. There we go. And I took him down just as well. So that's 2. The herd is still there. If you notice, they have not run off and spooked, and I've got 2 low fitness animals taken out of this herd, which is going to increase my possibilities of getting those high fitness and those 5 stars. Now we will take a look at these guys and see their fitness potential as to why they were called in. So here's number 1. Nice shot. Now I didn't hit a heart shot, but look at the cavity that arrow causes. 15.58%. Clearly he needed to be taken out of this herd so that his genetics don't get passed on. So let's take a look at number 2 over here. And I actually hit him pretty high, but again, look at that arrow. These arrows are definitely overpowered. I love using them. He was 46.67%, and his antlers are pretty nasty, so I'm going to go ahead and sell him as well. So that was the end of the actual tutorial, but if you'd like to stay on for a few minutes, I'd like you to take a look at one of the kind of most interesting and coolest looking set of antlers that I've come across. I did have to get these into my collection. Now this animal is actually a high fitness, and I technically shouldn't have taken him out, but when I saw these antlers and how beautiful they were and how unique they were, I actually had to have him. So let's take a look at him over here. He is going to be this 3-star mature. He's drinking in the river at this moment, and so I'm going to get a close-up look so I can show you those antlers and how I take this animal. I only stumbled upon him. In this footage, I was looking to see what their racks looked like, to see if some of these were like the 50 to 60 or 70%, and that's when I actually was able to look at this guy here and find his rack. It looks something very interesting. It's very back and forth. Look how this rack looks. It's just absolutely cool looking. I mean, it's kind of horrifying looking in a way, like out of a horror movie. These are great looking. Again, they're so super unique. I've never seen anything like it before, so of course he's on my radar. So I'm going to go ahead and take him. I'm going to speed up this area of the video so that we can just get to the antlers so I can show them to you in full glory. Okay, so now I've come up on the animal. Let's go ahead and take a closer look. He was a 3-star mature. He would not have made a 5-star. You'll see that in a second. So let's get a deep look at him. Wow, that's beautiful. That is so unique. They're definitely symmetrical in every way. So of course he was a high-end 3-star. I believe he's only about 75%, so he definitely wouldn't have made 5. So it was a good thing I did take him at 3. But wow, just look at how beautiful these antlers are. I've got to have these on a display. So there you go, 75.71% genetics. He may have made it up to a 4-star, but I don't think so. He definitely was a hard 3-star mature. So okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take him back to the main cabin, and I'm going to find a nice little spot to put him in. I think somewhere on easy display that I can look at him whenever I'm chilling out reading a book, or in the main lobby area I can show him off, but I've got to put this guy on main display. So let's see, maybe here. No, I'm going to hold off on that one. I don't want him out there. These are too small, and I don't want to upstairs. Upstairs are for the larger stands. So either here. No, I can't put him there. So let's go ahead and put him over here. Okay, perfect spot. There we go. There is my 3-star mature. I have now mounted him, and his antlers are just absolutely glorious, almost out of some kind of a Robert Frost book or something. Alright everyone, that's going to do it for this tutorial. I want to thank you all for watching and thank you for all the support, and I'll see you next time.